Hello, hello, hello. It's me again, Mano. Welcome to the channel Mano Oresto. Well, my name is Mano. And thanks for tuning in to this video. So last time I was talking about my childhood Game Boy Advance games. And this time I would like to talk about the games I played on my Nintendo DS from my childhood. Just to continue the series. For me, the Game Boy Advance as well as the Nintendo DS are both the, I would say, most formative, you could say, formative handhelds I had. Those really shaped the gamer you can see in front of you, or not. Yeah, the thing was, I never really grew up with like the newer consoles for the living room or for the big TV. I mean, we had the Super Nintendo, but it was more of a relic because we never really played it. We didn't really had that much games for it. And we also had the PlayStation 1. Well, for the PlayStation 1 it was kind of crazy because of course the whole mod chip thing was a thing, right? That was a serious pop cultural thing that you suddenly could just burn CDs and then play plenty of PlayStation games, PlayStation 1 games. And we had a chipped PlayStation 1, so there were plenty of games. But to me, playing console games was also a thing of pretty much an event. It wasn't like my gaming partner, because since the console was always in the living room, as a child, I wasn't really able to binge games, like really crazy adventure games or something. It was more always a session of, okay, when we have friends over, we would say like, hey, you wanna play? Let's play Tekken, let's play, I don't know, Crash Team Racing, CTR Crash Team Racing, that's the name. So, well, that was why when I got handhelds, I could play them in my own room, I could play them at nighttime, whenever I wanted, basically. So that's why those memories of those games are really ingrained into my head, instead of playing like adventure games. So for example, I mean, of course we had for the PlayStation 1 we had Resident Evil, but I was too I was too young. I was a scaredy cat, so I was just so afraid of the game. And then yeah, I just couldn't play it such games or like RPGs, I just couldn't play them in long sessions. For example, especially like on school days, maybe on the weekend, but on school days I wasn't really allowed to play. Yeah, so such long games. Only like, session games. As I mentioned, yeah, Tekken, Crash Team Racing, Point Blank was really great, even though we never had like a light gun. Pew pew pew. Yeah. So, anyways, without further ado, with further ado, before I want to dive into the games I have laid out there, to be honest, not that many. I thought I had more, but there is probably, I can tell you later on the reason why there are not that many games. Maybe as compared to my Game Boy Advance games, but still, of course, I was blessed with these games. It's 7 in total, so I was a lucky kid in the end. Yeah. So before I dive into the games, telling you like my nostalgic stories about the games, I would like to show you my old Nintendo DS. And it's in this neat little case. So this is what my mom got me. So the story behind my Nintendo DS was that in 2005, when I went with my family and also my cousins to the Philippines, which is my homeland, you could say, my cousins who had not just Game Boy Advance SPs, they also had Nintendo DSs. They had the fat model, and they were playing those in the Philippines, and it was really great because it was so new, the dual screen, the little cartridges suddenly, so insane. Oh wait, okay, I have to check something because the cartridges, oh, they're actually inside. They're actually inside because back then I actually crafted a little thing, a card holder. Okay, wait, let me get it. Okay, yeah, I got this little card holder. It's this one. It was made out of a box for film photos. How do you call that? Photo films. Those little box. Yeah, there's rolls for when you take photos, not analog photos. I forgot how to call it. It's called film. Analog camera films. Anyways, so I use cardboard to make these slots in which you can put in your games. And then, okay, it was just a lucky thing that yeah, Star Wars was in this one. Yeah. And then you could, for example, this game, and you had these slots here, and then you could also put them, oh, do they even fit? Here. Yeah. As a child, I was really into crafting stuff. I always loved to create something out of cardboard, and these are for the styluses, for the DS styluses. You could put them in here, so you had like this box, really neat, really cool. Yeah, so I put this here as well. Yeah, so okay, continuing to the story how I got my Nintendo DS. So I got the fat DS. And it was when we went to the Philippines, it was in the summer of 2005. Yeah, my cousins, they had Nintendo DS's, the fat DS's, and I was so jealous. I really wanted one. And then we thought, okay, you know what? We could get them for Christmas. Kind of weird thing we did, because basically we used, my older sister and I, we used our own money, gave it to our parents, who bought the handhelds, and then they gifted them to us on Christmas. So I went with the silver model, the silver Fat DS, which was cheaper at the time. So we got the Fat DS's because the Nintendo DS Lites, they were already they released, but they were more expensive, and that way I was able to get the Nintendo DS handheld itself, and then I was also allowed to choose a game. Yeah, so I basically just bought them on my own for Christmas. Naja, well, okay. So this is it. This is, so when you also have, in this case, you also have these nice slots here. But as you can see from the outside there, how it feels. Yeah. I was, of course, already 2005, I was really into Naruto. I was such a Naruto kid. Always loved the show, watching the anime. And then also I collected and played the trading card game. That's another story. And as you can see, you can already tell the hinge is broken on the side, because of course I love this handheld really a lot. Oh wow, it's kind of, oh, it's sticky. Okay. The rubber thingies. Oh, okay. Yeah. Does it still turn on? Okay, there's no juice in here. Technically it should be working, but there's probably no charge. But still, this is it. How's the bottom screen? How's the touch screen? Not too bad, actually. You know, I never used a screen protector, and I think even though there's no screen protector, it looks quite okay. Okay. Top screen. Nice, nice, nice. Yeah, so this is my original Nintendo DS. Of course, I have this original lanyard thing from what it came. I still have the box. I still have the original box, and I have to mention, technically the very first game I have is the demo of Metroid Prime Hunters. Metroid Prime Hunters, but to be honest, I also didn't really, the demo didn't really got me to play the actual game or like get the actual game because I don't know. In general, I'm kind of dumb, and Metroidvanias, I really have to get into them to kind of play them because of puzzles and stuff, and all the mapping, remembering your way and so on. That's why as a child I wasn't really into it. It was just too complicated for me. Also this scanning stuff, scanning enemies, scanning all those guys, that was too complicated for me. And yeah, and I always love to decorate my stuff. That's why we have here. It's actually pretty neat that this still sticks. Okay, maybe not on this side here. You can see it's kind of going off, but still it's really kind of sticks because this is just printed out of the printer. Funny story, why is Minato so blue? Why is Naruto so yellow? Our printer, it's an inkjet printer back in the day. It was always so bad, it always had errors and the cartridges were always leaking and so on. And you never could properly print something correctly, and that's why they turned out so monochrome. But to be honest, it gave it style. So I'm not too angry about that. It looked cool in the end, and then they just secured it with this foil you use to protect books, right? You use it to in school when you get like new books, you have to kind of protect them. This is the foil we used. Yeah, my older sister helped me with that, of course. And yeah, so love this handle to its bits. To its bits. Really nostalgic. Really, actually like the form factor. The screen's not the best, but compared to the Game Boy Advance, of course, backlight is such a great technology. Also, I have the original Game Boy Advance, so battery, you can charge it using the GBASP battery charger. And of course, it's backwards compatible. You can actually play Game Boy Advance games on it. So this was also so awesome. Yeah, it's just two handhelds in one, which is insane, to be honest. To be honest, that's insane. Probably also not the best move for Nintendo, financially maybe, because they cannibalized their Game Boy Advance market. But yeah, for us consumers, you know, back then when Nintendo cared about their consumers, this was great. This was insane. Backwards compatibility, just get the Nintendo DS, also with the Nintendo DS Lite. Damn. I never got the Nintendo DS Lite like in my childhood. I never did the upgrade, only when I got into like handheld collecting, console collecting. No, it's more handheld collecting. I got my hands on Nintendo DS's as Lites, but other than that, back then, this was my daily driver, you could say. That's what the, I don't know, EDC community would say, probably the daily driver from my childhood. Yeah. Oh man, so great, so great, so great. I don't even know, Madrix. funky name. Of course, to be honest, if I had a choice of what kind of case, I wouldn't have chosen this one. Kind of looks too plain. But to be honest, I wonder why I've never like decorated this one as a child. Maybe I was too lazy, and I just noticed. Okay, you know what? It's about the games, not the looks. Bars. Okay. Anyways, so. Okay, as I mentioned before, diving now into the games. The first game was actually the Metroid Prime Hunter demo, which I didn't really like. To be honest, just played it a few times to check it out, and then I was like, oh, okay, you know what, it's not my thing. That's how it is, just not my thing, not really my cup of tea. So my very first game that I got to play and I chose basically for my Christmas gift, because yeah, as I mentioned before, we chose Nintendo DS Fat over the Nintendo DS Lite, so because they were cheaper and we got to choose a game with it. And that was, in my case, so my sister, she loved Another Code. She is super into puzzle games, also like Professor Layton and all that stuff. You know, I'm just, especially as a child, I'm just so too short of an attention span, too impatient for riddles, all this kind of stuff. I was always pretty much an iPad kid. I was an iPad kid kind of already back then. And I wanted to play something where you can fight, where you can have action. And I wanted to see 3D graphics. And back in the day, I had a friend in primary school who didn't have many consoles or something, but he had a PC. And on this PC, he had one game which kind of was really fascinating to me. It was Star Wars, or Lego Star Wars. And I think it was the first one. So it had the newer trilogy, the episodes 1, 2, 3, instead of episodes 1, 2, 3, and I back then loved playing this game with him so much. I loved to battle as the Jedi in Lego form. I loved kind of the platforming. It was really cool. The ship fighting, or airship, no, how do you say it? Sky ships, X-wing fighting stuff. The shooting was really fun. So I thought I would like also, okay, I also really loved it. Star Wars 2, Lego Star Wars 2, it's German, guys. Die klassische Trilogie. Crazy, crazy, crazy. Yeah, and here's a seal saying it's the successor of the crowned or prized video game Lego Star Wars, which is crazy. And I saw the back and I saw, damn, 3D graphics? 3D graphics on a handheld that I have? Because to be honest, when I was on the holiday in the Philippines in the summer of 2005, my cousins, of course, they had Nintendo DS games, but one cousin had like this Yoshi touch and play, where you like touch on the screen, like Yoshi moves by itself and you have to draw the path he walks on. And so it's kind of Lemmings. It's Lemmings Yoshi. Okay. And I think then she also had an Mario 64 DS, which was, okay, that was insane because it was 3D graphics, and I also wanted to have this next step of 3D graphics on my handheld. So when I saw these screenshots of the game, I was like, oh my gosh, I need to play this game. And to be honest, at that time, I haven't even watched the Star Wars movies. Okay, it's out. It's out. Fake fan. Pop culture isn't for me. But to be honest, I watched the Star Wars movies 1 to 8. I haven't watched the others. Like later on, I kind of watched them later on with my friends. We kind of did like binge weekends where we watched multiple movies, and I caught up on them. And to be honest, I think Star Wars is cool. It's such a cool franchise, but I'm not one of those hardcore fans I would not, if I was ever to consider a tattoo, I would not consider a Star Wars tattoo. Let's say that. It's just the thing. I was never introduced into this franchise, so I never really grew up with it. And that's why I always saw it. And also, of course, in school, every boy was like, oh, probably maybe girls, but as in my classes back in my school, girls didn't really openly show that they were Star Wars fans. It was always the boys. And so anyways, for this game, to be honest, I never really completed every single level because there were some levels I was always stuck. And back then I was too dumb to look up stuff in the internet, and that's why, yeah, probably there's still some levels I haven't seen at all. Okay, wow, what's this? Oh wow, okay, this is insane. Okay. Yeah. Promarkt. I think this store isn't even is already gone. I think there's the store isn't there anymore. But yeah, this game I really enjoyed. It's just insane that it had these 3D graphics, and probably it could have used the Nintendo DS already could have used or benefited from a joystick because of the movement, but I think it was still really great. Really enjoyed playing it. And to be honest, sometimes I thought the game was also buggy because you had also these ghost versions, right, of like Qui-Gon Jinn and so on, the guys who are already dead. And a friend of mine, he told me in the PC version of the game of Lego Star Wars, they can't be shot by blasters, but in the DS version, on my game, they could take damage by blasters. So I don't know why. So I always thought, you know what, sometimes the game is kind of buggy, but nonetheless, I really enjoyed this game. Sadly, of course, it didn't really ignite a super Star Wars nerd in me, but I still totally respect the franchise, think it's really cool. There's some things I always find funny, like the relationship between Anakin and Padme. It's kind of always weird to me that after he kills like this whole sand village, he goes to Padme and it's like, oh, I killed unalived them all, and then Padme's like, oh my gosh, I want this man. This is kind of weird to me, but I guess that's what turns royalty on. I don't know. Yeah. Anyways, so this Star Wars 2, my very first real game, real Nintendo DS game. Yes. So I think this is my very first. So to fully honest, I'm not sure if the order I'm showing you the games is totally correct in the order of how I got these games. To be honest, it's really crazy because back in the day I would have always known which game came first, which game I got later on, but somehow I just forgot. And yeah, maybe it's because it's kind of 20 years ago and I'm getting old. Yeah, I don't know. Anyways, to combat getting old, you can train your brain, and there were of course two parties back in the day. It was either brain training by Dr. Kawashima. Dr. Kawashima, which got my older sister got. She was playing brain training. In German it's called Dr. Kawashima's Gehirnjogging, which is brain jogging. Yeah, brain running, you could say. I got Big Brain Academy, which is also really cool. So, and the thing I was always looking for when buying a game or getting a game. First, of course, I don't know why, but there were games like these, like you could say like AAA games for the Nintendo DS that were like 40 euros back in the day, okay? 40 euros. And then there were like those games, I think this was 20 euros because it was more of an educational game, which I don't want to say it's not shovelware, but it's more like appware games, you know, utility games, where it's like, okay, this is not really a game that is, its intent is to be a game. It's more like, okay, it has some benefits, and it's more like an app on an iPhone. But back then, iPhones weren't that big. Yeah, so that's why I think back in the day, I don't have the receipt. Sadly don't have the receipt, and the game is of course here. The cartridge, I mean. Big Brain Academy. Yeah, so Big Brain Academy, what you do, you have these cool, nifty like puzzles or exercise puzzles that should train different kinds of skills for your brain, and then you can make a test, and then in this test it shows you how much muscle mass, brain mass you've got. And I think the highest score, and depending on the brain mass, you get scored. And I think my highest score was level 17. You can tell me if that's high or if that's low, because as a child, of course, you think faster. And I think, yeah, nowadays I don't think I could beat this even with training. I was playing this quite a lot because I really enjoyed most of these puzzles or training exercises. And of course, one thing that was really important when getting a game, because I had an older sister who had a Nintendo DS. Then I had two cousins who had also a Nintendo DS each. Later on, I got my little sister also got the Nintendo DSi. So it was always important that we got a game with wireless DS single card download play, which is the most, I don't want to say underrated, because everyone knows this is like the best feature. Wireless play, download play, this is just the best feature the DS ever had. I mean, as you can already tell, I don't have Mario Kart DS, okay? Because my cousin had Mario Kart DS and we would always play this together. So there was no real need for me to get Mario Kart DS, because I already knew my cousin had Mario Kart DS. Friends from my primary school already had Mario Kart DS. Everyone had Mario Kart DS. So I did not need to play Mario Kart, to buy or to get Mario Kart DS, because it had wireless single card. Wow, guys, come on, focus. Wireless single card download play. Yeah, this was just such a game changer. This was such a game changer. Of course, wireless in general, this was insane. To be honest, I've never really played the GBA games multiplayer with a Game Link cable, except Pokemon, because we had the Game Link cable for the Game Boy Color, and this also worked on the Game Boy Advance, and I traded Pokemons from Gold from the second generation with a friend of mine back in the day. But like true GBA multiplayer, I never really did that, sadly. So with the Nintendo DS, this was such a crazy feature. That's why, yeah, getting games with download play capabilities was just awesome. And of course, it's kind of like a okay, for those who don't know, I bet everyone watching knows what I'm talking about download play. But if you don't know, there's no shame, because it just means that you're younger than me or just didn't grow up with this Nintendo DS or like other handheld consoles. Anyways, it would just mean that everyone in a group, let's say of 4 people, everyone has their own Nintendo DS, but only one person needs to have the cartridge. That means everyone saves money. And then you can have this function that in the game you can like send off game content for the others to download. And the Nintendo DS had some sort of temporary storage to download gameplay from a certain games who are compatible with it, and then you could play together on, in this case, Big Brain Academy. You could play those exercises, like of each, I think 5 categories. There was like one exercise you could always play competitively, which is also of course fun to see who's better than who and who's the slowest and so on. This was always really interesting and funny. So much fun. Okay, so Star Wars I wanted to see 3D on my new handheld. Brain Age, I got it because it was cheap, and you know, the new era of keeping your head, your brain young was a thing back then. And then I think it was random, I don't even know why, the reason why I got this game. Of course, I never really that much paid them often for myself, but maybe I got them for Christmas or so on. But I think the next game, it could have been this Worms Open Warfare. You can see the residue of the sticker, the price sticker. Oops. But you can also see the price here. 22 something, 22 euros. Yeah, I think this was on a discount. And I remembered that on PlayStation 1, so it was years ago with another cousin. I played on the PlayStation 1 a Worms game, and I remember this being so funny. I really loved the humor, those cartoony worms, and then when you do incorrect moves, and you destroy yourself, is always like a reason to laugh. So that's why I wanted to play. I wanted to bring this fun experience of Worms to the Nintendo DS. That's why I got Worms 2 Open Warfare, or Worms Open Warfare 2. And what can I say? It's Worms. To be honest, I'm not really the best Worms specialist, because I'm really bad. The problem is, I don't know why, but even though it has like a single card game play, it does have this feature. I never had someone actually want to play with me this game. I really don't know why, but apparently, yeah, my cousins, my sister, they were not really into Worms. I was the only one who thought it was funny. This one cousin I played it with on the PlayStation, he went back to the Philippines. That's another story how this happened, or maybe probably not. So I never really played this in multiplayer, which is really sad because it would have been so much fun. Yeah, still of course got the receipt. Nice. Wow. Okay, wow, where's the... Oh, did I? Okay, wow, nice artwork, nice artwork. Okay, I think. Okay, I probably lost the manual. Oh no. But the artwork is nice. Guys, oh wow, wow. Okay. But I have the receipt, that's kind of weird. But not the manual. That's kind of sad. But of course, cartridge is not here. It's here. It's this. No, it's this. No, it's this. Yes, it's this one. Yeah. Oops. Oh, well. The thing is why I don't really ended up playing this too much is because the AI was just always so good, and for me as a child just always seemed unbeatable. Which is kind of sad because Worms is so good. Yeah, it's kind of sad that I never had someone to play with. Maybe one day I will have also friends who like to play Worms with me. I mean, I'm not good, so... And Worms is fun. I don't know, maybe I find someone who wants to play Worms with me one day. And next, okay, I don't really have that much like expensive games or like crazy like sought after games. I don't have any Pokemon. Okay, back in the day as a childhood, I never had like the main series Pokemon games because yeah, I only got them later on when I got into like game collecting, like revisiting like the old games and so on. The only Nintendo DS Pokemon game I had in my childhood for the Nintendo DS was this one, Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Team Blau. First things first, I don't know why this is like black, the case is black. I got this in a store, so I really don't know why it's black. I think black is like the American? Yeah, I don't know why it's like the American housing. Cartridges, of course, here. Or maybe it's even the Japanese one, I don't know. Yeah, cartridges here. Cool. Yeah, that's really weird. It's like also the only one. So European ones are these more thick ones and see-through whitish ones, which I like. The thing is, I like to have everything uniform, and also the American ones are a little bit taller. You can see that here, how it's a little bit taller. Yeah, that's I would have loved to have everything uniform, but maybe, I don't know. Do you guys know if this is like rare? If it's like worth a little bit more money? I don't know. I don't care, to be honest. I'm not going to sell this. You have to unalive me first before I give out my games. Okay. Anyways, so Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Team Blue. As a child, I think back then Pokemon Diamond and Pearl weren't released yet, and I just wanted to have a Pokemon game. I was but there was like Pokemon Dash, which Pokemon Linkos, Picross, something like that. All those kind of really side games or spin-off games. And that didn't really interest me. So the only Pokemon game I was interested in back at the time, because I would have loved to play Pokemon Diamond or Pearl back then, which I later on played. I caught up on it, but back then, Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Team Blue was the game of choice, my Pokemon game of choice, because it had Pokemon, and then I also thought, I think also there was this short anime. It was a few episodes, 1 or 2 episodes that aired on TV, which was basically a little bit of the story of the video game. And I really liked it that you get to play as a Pokemon, not just as a trainer. You've been a human before and you get turned into a Pokemon. And you, in the beginning of the game, you always do the test, your personality test, and based on the personality test, they choose a Pokemon for you. And I was it's kind of like a horoscope thingy, and maybe it's because I have 2 sisters that I also got to was like excited about this. The very first time I did the personality test, the game said I was a Machop, right? Machomai für meine deutschen Freunde. A Machop, and I played a bit through the game, just not that much, like a few hours, just a few dungeons. And then I was like, oh man, my friend, you need to check this out. This is really cool. Check out what Pokemon are you. And then I think my friend, I can't even remember. It was something he wasn't really proud about. Maybe some Meowth or something. It was definitely something he wasn't really happy with. And I told him, I'm a Machop. And he thought, that's much cooler. And then he gave me the game back, and then I just started again from scratch. And then the second time actually was really nice, because I was how it's called? Oh gosh, okay. Okay, now I know. I was Cyndaquil. And the second time I was Cyndaquil, which I really liked, because Cyndaquil was my starter for Pokemon Gold, which I really enjoyed when I played through the game at the time. And my partner was Treecko. Okay guys, it's Treecko. And I thought that this team was much better than I had. I don't even know who my partner was back then with. I think it was a water Pokemon, a water type. And which was, I think, okay. I think it was Totodile. Okay, weird Totodile, I know. I know the name Totodile in English, but so I was much happier with Cyndaquil than Machop. And guys, so Pokemon Mystery Dungeon, in my opinion, probably the most heartwarming story in all Pokemon. All the Pokemon games I played so far. I played the main series games until Sword and Shield. Sword and Shield, I don't even remember what the story was. I like the stories from Black and White, and also, yeah, X and Y was also cool. Diamond and Platinum was also great. But to me, the most like heartfelt, tear, crying inducing, how to say, just the story, even as a child, that brought me to tears was Pokemon Mystery Dungeon, because you had this bond between you and your partner sticking to you, even though the whole Pokemon world is against you, trying to get rid of you. And yeah, that's why to me it was so heartwarming and just a unique experience in my childhood. That's why I would say it's one of the most informative handheld generations to me. One of the reasons Pokemon Mystery Dungeon, the story of it, I really loved it. And also I loved how they applied the Pokemon combat system to this dungeon crawler setting. I really loved it that, for example, like when you use Swords Dance, you can move twice as fast and so on. Get one move faster. I really like this game. Things I didn't really cleared or never really beat was all those dungeons where you have to go to the floor 99, like for I think Celebi or Jirachi, but you get re-leveled as level 1. This was just insane, and with no items or something like that. This was insane to me, to be honest. I couldn't really deal with that. I really hated those dungeons. Other than that, other dungeons like Lugia, the Lugia dungeon, I think that was just you just go there as normal, and then you have to go to floor 99 or 70, I don't remember. Those were fine, but those where you get reset, no items in your bag, and have to deal with 99 floors, that was too much for me as a child. And I don't even know if I would like to play this again. Those dungeons. The story, definitely, at some point, because I don't know. For example, if I had kids, I would play this with my kids. This game is really dear to me. It's one of those games that showed me like how narrative can really make an impact on you. Okay. This is Pokemon Mystery Dungeon, guys. If you always think Pokemon is the story is so unnecessary and so on, try this game, and if you haven't, I really would recommend it, because I just this changed me. I wouldn't be the same person I am now if I hadn't played Pokemon Mystery Dungeon. Team Blue. Okay, next one is a hidden gem. Okay, this is Custom Robo Arena. Okay, this is so slept on, so underrated. The whole franchise is something no one talks about. Since I know it, I've seen more YouTubers talk about this franchise, the series, and also Custom Robo Arena itself. But this is a game you definitely should check out if you like third-person arena battle shooting, fighting, and mechas or little robots. To be honest, I'm not too familiar with the mecha genre in anime and so on. I just like the word mecha. Little robots that you can customize yourself so they suit your play style or fight style. And if you also like a generic, straightforward story about some high school kid, school kid, teenager stuff who wants to be like the very best at this game sport, arena game, robot game sport. But then later on there is this evil organization that has to be stopped because they want to rule the world by using, I don't know, robots. Robots that are technically meant for this game sport for children, or maybe not for just for children. But of course the police, there is a police in this game, and the police is so incompetent. Again, like I don't know, Beyblade, or like if you guys know Biederman or something, that, or other stuff where they have to rely on this one young teenager to save the world from this evil company, band, organization, or I don't know. Because apparently he is really great at controlling his robo. Yeah, so this is basically the plot of Custom Robo Arena. You're a youngster, new at your school, then you get introduced to Custom Robo Arena, you get your robo, you win the local tournament, regional tournament, national tournament, and then at some point the evil organization comes and you have to save the world. Yeah, I just told you basically the story twice now, so you should know. I don't even know how I really got to know this game, but I remember vividly spending so much time looking up the website of this game, looking at the characters, looking at this, because I didn't even know this franchise. This franchise already exists on the Nintendo 64, on the Game Boy Advance, and also on the GameCube, but I never saw those games. I only then saw like videos of the GameCube version. It looked super edgy. The GameCube game is like is a tad darker and looks more like Shadow the Hedgehog. Not that violent, but also this edgy stuff, you know, this edgy 2000 dark theme. And Custom Robo Arena is more brighter, it's more cheerful, much more appealing to children, I would say. And of course this got me because I like arena style fighting games. I really enjoy them. Okay, to be honest, I don't even know if I played that many, but for example, I really like Digimon Rumble Arena. At the time it didn't really occur to me that this could have been so similar, but maybe it was this underlying link I did between this and Digimon Rumble Arena that made me really want this game, because there was no one, I've never even seen true gameplay before, and it was not like friends told me this game is great. I just found this game somehow. Oh, maybe it's because of the resemblance to like Mega Man Battle Network. Maybe it's also that, probably because of the cybernetic stuff. I don't know how you would call it, but probably also the resemblance to Mega Man Battle Network, a series, a franchise which I really love, one of my most favorite Mega Man franchises. So basically in Custom Robo Arena, you have these robos and you can customize them. You have like, this is, so first of all, you can choose between different robos yourself. You collect them all, you get them as a reward, so you can buy them and so on in shops. And first you select your robo, who has like different characteristics, and then they have another 4 aspects that you can customize. One is the right weapon, which is like the main gun, you would say. Then on the left hand you have the bomb. It's more of a detonational thing. And then you have the drones, which could be like landmines or like homing missiles. And then you had the boots. For example, maybe you want to sprint faster on land, or maybe you would like to be more swift in the air, or something like that, like better jumping capabilities, or yeah, a better movement overall, or something like that. So yeah, so this game really was, it's just so Manu. To be honest, Manu in its teenager years. If you would describe like Manu in his teenager years with one game, I think Custom Robo Arena would be the closest one. Oh, and I also like the Megazords from Power Rangers. Maybe that's like the mecha thing. To me, I think Custom Robo Arena, maybe, is it my favorite Nintendo DS game? I don't know. To be honest, I can't really say. But I think personality-wise, this is also like this typical boyish shonen, if you know shonen anime like Naruto, One Piece, Dragon Ball. This is just, you know, this is Mano from the youngster days. This is like his personality in a nutshell. There's also one thing I kind of regret, because of course I beat the game later on in my Nintendo DS game years was when I actually beat games. In my GBA years and before, I was too dumb to beat games because I was just so incompetent as a gamer. But of course later on, as I grew older, I was able to beat games on my own without the help of my older sister. And yeah, a Custom Robo Arena I beat. I almost beat this 100 battle challenge or 99 battle challenge, I don't remember. And the last battle, it was technically the last boss of the story campaign, which was so hard to beat, which was ridiculously hard. It took like over 20 tries, because it was difficulty level just spiked so hard with this last battle. I don't know why. I mean, of course it's the last boss, but it was like so unapologetically inconsistent with this difficulty spike. I only met one other person in my life who also played this game, and that person I met in RuneScape, guys. Because of this game, this robo is called Ray MK Roman III, which is for 3, Mark 3. So Ray Mark 3, and I used this name for my character in RuneScape. Yeah, so this one person recognized this and was like, hey, you also played Custom Robo Arena, right? And we talked about this game, was really cool. And he also told me that this last boss is called Hadron, the final boss of the game. A really slender golden robo that he also took like at least 20, 30 tries to beat this guy, because it's just wow. The game wasn't so hard before, and then the final boss is like so OP. So I also did the post game, got plenty of stuff. I almost finished all the missions. There were some missions which are just so frustrating, I believe, and I just didn't manage to complete those. Then I kind of regret lending this game to a friend, and there's only one save in this game, and of course I was like, yeah, sure, fine. He was like, okay, he makes a new save, and then of course overwrote mine, and this is not a problem. It would have been all cool, but then he was like, yeah, that's a okay game. It's a mid game, he said, something like that back then, and this got me really, this was the thing that really annoyed me. It wasn't that he overwrote my game, but it was that I let someone who didn't even enjoy the game as much as I did overwrite my game save. I think I still haven't restarted this game since then. It's still the old save game from my friend back in school. Yeah, okay, kind of ending on a sad note. Nonetheless, this game is still really awesome if you like this kind of games. I think I tried a little bit, I never really played it that far, but I saw that like on the 3DS there's Little X Busters or something, which is pretty similar. And I always wanted to play this further, but I just never really got the time. But yeah, at some point I will, and maybe it carries on the fire, the spirit of Custom Robo Arena. Yeah, I just hope so, because this game, this was also very, very important to me. Very formative game that influenced me a lot. Okay, from a game that it's all about defeating your opponent and getting better and better, to a game which is about, living under the oppression of a, tanuki or whatever this animal is. It's of course Animal Crossing Wild World. I wanted this game so bad because first, one of my cousin got this game, and I saw how, like, I don't know, this idle life, this slow life, even though it's not that slow, it's the simple life inside this game was so alluring to me. Even though it's like technically always the same day, going on and on and on, it clicked somehow. Saw my cousin play it, and I also wanted to play it a little bit. She gave the game to me a little bit so I can also try. But of course, I didn't have much freedom because yeah, I wasn't allowed to sell important furniture, something like that, yeah. And then later on, my older sister, she also got the game, and then I got to play on her Nintendo DS game. But then at some point, I don't know when exactly, I wanted to game for myself, and then I got the game for myself. I don't know what to say about Animal Crossing. Everyone knows it, everyone loves it. Wild World, probably also Wild World is the only version I played. I have one older and younger sister. They both played, I think, is New Leaf. Is New Leaf the one on the 3DS? For my little sister, it was her first Animal Crossing. But for me, this one is the only one I played, and still, I don't know. It's not that I play it anymore, because of course at some point it's just too monotone and there's nothing new. And at some point you just have seen pretty much all of it. But for example, I loved that you had this snowman event. If you build a well-proportioned snowman, you get furniture from him, or when you collect enough acorns, you get this mushroom furniture. I love this kind of aspects from the game. Also getting like the golden tools, like the golden shovel, golden slingshot, golden fishing rod, golden net, bug net. Yeah, this was great. Really, really great. Yeah, I don't know what to say about. Oh yeah, one thing. There was one thing I never really got to function. That was this one hack in which you get like interest, right? Is this called interest still? So when in your bank account, when you have money, and then after a few months or something, you get interest or something, and then you get paid out your money. One classmate told us, yeah, I already finished my house and something, and it's already done. And I was like, hey, how do you do that? It takes so long. How do you make that money so fast? And he told me he just set the time of his Nintendo DS, of course, to a few years to the future, so the interest or the payout from the bank, from your money account, would be so high that you can just easily pay off your debt. So you can pay off Tom Nook, right? You don't have any debts anymore and you can just live happily in your house. Anyways, so I tried that. Of course I had money. I had plenty of money on belts in my savings account. And when I tried to when I did that with the timer on the Nintendo DS console, it just didn't work. I had plenty of those bad plants, how do you call it, Unkraut? Okay, of this weed, this unnecessary weed. I had plenty of those, of course, and I had to pick them by hand. But I didn't get the money, so I was kind of confused. I don't know what I did wrong. To this day, I haven't been able to retrace my mistake I've done. But apparently it didn't work for me. Same thing with buggy Star Wars 2. I don't know. Sometimes I always felt like it works for other people, but never for me. I always had like the short end of the stick when it comes to that. But anyways, I still really enjoyed the heck out of Animal Crossing. And yeah, Animal Crossing Wild World, to me, the best one. Also, to me, the one with the best soundtrack. Okay, so now to the final game of my childhood collection, DS games. This one, I'm pretty sure this is the last one I got. This one is a continuation, of course, for my love for Kirby and the GBA. I played Kirby's Nightmare in Dreamland. I don't remember if there were any other Kirby games. Oh, there was Kirby Paintbrush. This wasn't really for me at the time. I wasn't really interested in that because it was too stylus heavy. To be honest, the touchscreen, of course, is a really great gimmick, and there were plenty of really creative games that utilized this touchscreen so nicely and coherently, you could say. For example, like Rhythm Heaven or like Dr. Kawashima's Brain Age stuff, where it was like, yeah, okay, the touchscreen really makes sense. But sometimes, for example, by Kirby's Paintbrush course, or I don't know, I think there's even another name for it in the US version, or Canvas course. It kind of seemed forced. It was like type of games that were like, okay, we need the game to have a full touchscreen control function feature gameplay stuff. And for example, also like Pokemon Dash or something, which are like mediocre, like not too great games because they relied too heavily on the touchscreen function. The US version is called Kirby Squeak Squad, I think. And yeah, for example, in Germany, who knows what a Squeak Squad is supposed to be? What's that? What is that? Okay, because a Squeak Squad, I don't know if Europe people associate mice with that. Anyways, and that's why it's easier to say mouse attack. And of course, you can see, as opposed to Japanese imagery of Kirby, he is bad, he is evil, he is angry, he is ready for action. Oh yeah. Kirby mouse attack. What can I say? Okay, now he's happy, ne? Now he's happy. What can I say? Kirby mouse attack is, to be honest, a very, very mediocre game. Sometimes also the level design is so weird, where you just jump, you fall down, and then there's into the level, and then there's just a treasure box which you need to collect and open and collect, and that's the level. I really loved the mechanic that you have this gut, Kirby's stomach or gut, in which you can store bubbled items, bubbled powers, and then either you can just use them, activate them. For example, if you tap on them, right, you can just activate them, or you can spit them out, or you could combine them if you already had the skill for it. So sometimes when you combine two powers, it would just generate this roulette, skill roulette. But for example, if you had the skill to combine sword and fire, you get fire sword, which was really cool. And also the environment played a big role in the levels, much more than in the previous Kirby's games. And the mini games, they were also really fun. I also played them a lot with my siblings. A lot, yeah. I think Treasure Shot is kind of crazy. I think the most fun, to be honest, is Speedy Tea Time, where you try to tap on the cakes before the others, and you try to avoid bombs so you don't die. I'm kidding, you don't die. But yeah, Smash Ride was also really cool, but it was kind of too easy. It wasn't really too difficult. It was too plain. That's what I want to say. It's not easy in a difficulty sense. It was too simple. That's what I want to say. Treasure Shot, yeah, it's just you you just destroy your touch screen by clicking and tapping too much on it. Yeah, I mean, if you know a Kirby game, a Kirby jump-and-run platformer, whatever you want to call it, you pretty much know pretty much every single Kirby game. But Kirby Squeak Squad, probably not the best of the series of all Kirby games, 2D Kirby platformers, but definitely one dear to my heart. Also, Kirby games nowadays are fairly expensive. Yeah, to be honest, I'm kind of kind of sad that there's not too much to say about Kirby Mouse Attack. But yeah, it's just I would say still solid. Not really in comparison to other Kirby games, remarkable game, but still a solid game as it is, just as is. Oh, I still have not played Kirby Mass Attack. I also need to find this game for my collection. But yeah, so yeah, these were my Nintendo, let's say my Nintendo DS childhood collection. Let's again organize them. I think this time is going to be a bit easier because there are not too many games. Okay, Brain Age. Make those games I like the most more visible. Then definitely this. And also bring in my Nintendo DS from my childhood. Yeah, so this was pretty much my Nintendo DS video game collection from my childhood. As I mentioned before, I still collect Nintendo DS video games and Game Boy Advance games and also Game Boy Color and Game Boy games. If you would like to see that collection, feel free to let me in the comments. And then also let me know what games, Nintendo DS games, you played when you were a little hopeful child full of dreams, because I would really like to know. Maybe it's a game I would also like to check out. Yeah, or maybe just recommend me games. There were also games. Okay, of course, I played much more Nintendo DS games that it might be for another story time, but then of course the whole flashcard thingy became so apparent. I turned to play games with my flashcard because it was easier on the purse, not just on mine, but also for my parents. So I didn't need to be a burden financially the whole time on my parents. So that's why, yeah, flashcards were a thing in my childhood later on, also in my more teenage years, you could say. But yeah, these are my 7 games from my childhood. Technically, the place here could be for Metroid Prime Hunters demo, but as I mentioned, this is not really my cup of tea. But maybe at some point I just try it again, and it will be my most favorite game of all times. Another thing, I'm really excited about the Anbernic DS handheld. I don't know what's called again. I'm really excited about that. And then I'm also thinking of getting the Einthor. Oh, I really would like to have this handheld. Damn, Einthor, but of course money, guys, money is not unlimited. And I have so much stuff in my room, guys, you don't even know. Guys, never ask for a room tour, because you would think I live like a hoarder, which I probably am. I need to sell stuff, get rid of stuff, sell stuff. So this is an ongoing process. In the meantime, tell me your favorite Nintendo DS games. Tell me stories you have with Nintendo DS games. I will read all the comments. I mean, that's what I'm here for, to have some exchange on our passions of the Nintendo DS experience. Okay, before I get crazy, guys, thank you so much. If you watch this, thank you so much. Means a lot. Subscribe if you like more content about Nintendo DS stuff or like gaming. I know I haven't been posting about like handhelds, but the thing is, there is not much progress in the handheld market. And for example, if I would get handhelds for free from brands or stores, of course I would review them. But as it been now, and it's probably going to be, I've never like got something for free. And that's why I just choose what I want, and I only buy stuff I'm interested in, and not just because of the hype. But to be honest, currently Anbernic DS handheld, damn, it looks really cool. And then the Einthor, wow, they both look so cool. In the meantime, I just say thank you. Yeah, thumbs up, of course, if you liked this video. If it was interesting, it was kind of fun to have this guy ramble about his Nintendo DS gaming collection from his childhood. And yeah, again, subscribe if you want more. Okay, thank you. Bye.